must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No. I must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No. I cannot trust these leeches. I cannot trust these streets. I cannot trust these bitches. I gotta trust on me. I cannot tell my business. Stretching out rest, no fitness. Yeah, I swear we go. We need to go down and get this. I put the gang on my shoulders and carry on. I put the strap on my shoulder and bring it home. Haters be low-key fans and singing my songs. I swear to God, if I see them in person, I'm doing them wrong. I gotta stay focused, they pull out their camera, take pics. Every time I'm closing my eyes, I'm seeing me running from pigs. She don't speak or don't talk, she shy, she needed something to get lit. You coming in, fuck up the vibe, we scratching your name out the list. Yeah, I got my soul in this. Yeah, then I told them this. Yes, sir. Yeah, gotta stay focused. Yeah, we don't focus. I must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No. I must stay focused on these big bank rolls. I can't trust these hoes. No.
Yeah, maybe too big, it can't fit in the driveway. I've been fucking hard since Big Worm been on Friday. I've been tripping hard on these hoes since MySpace. Taking the top out of beans, baby. Taking the top out of beans. If I pull up with your rent, baby, you gotta swallow my kids. If I'm a dog, I'm a pit, baby. Having fantasy love with a rich lady. I put it on my list. She mad, I told my friends. I stop hanging with your nigga, just fuck on you. Every day, baby, on your daddy. And I wanna caress you, just fuck on you, bitch. I just add you to my life. Rose gold beans, rose gold rims and ties. Rose gold shitty chain gang. All's brother is bro, that is up in Petersburg. Slaw, make your pussy slurp.
Today, we're going to talk about the bowl game and NFL game, loaded NBA slate and craft up a TNT two-piece, and of course, the squad ride. This is Behind the Lines. Cooper Kupp might be washed. 4 targets, no catches. The guy ran a half a marathon. I've seen 20 tweets about it this morning. The guy didn't do a single thing.
Yeah, that was a frustrating bagel for a lot of fantasy owners.
Is this what we've become down in Blacksburg? Just complacent, happy to be going about our day and being a moose shit program, celebrating a kid getting 1 point against North Carolina A&T? He better fucking score a point. You're playing North Carolina A&T. He's leading college football, Jovan, in every single statistical category for a wide receiver. Every single one. And you don't give that guy the award? Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. At the end of the day, you got to reward teams for winning fucking games. And if they're in a power conference, they're in a power conference. I'm tired of this big dick swinging contest between the SEC, Big 12, Big 10, and ACC. At the end of the day, you got to fucking reward winning. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Thursday, episode 606 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your 2 hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. If you're not tracking your bets on Bookit, start today. Don't just sit there and listen to us talk about Bookit every day. Go check out the app. Go download it. It's free to use. Cannot be easier to use. Start tracking your bets on Bookit today. Use promo code Jovan and hold yourself accountable. Start tracking those bets, tracking those units. Jovan, how we doing? Happy Thursday. Coming off a squad ride dub. Clap it up. Let's go.
Yeah, Debbie Bradley. Good shit, Krabs.
Sure we can. We got a hype train moving and grooving already. I have a feeling, Jovan, we're going to have a great Thursday today. Great Thursday. We got Seabernack coming in, resubbing. Let's go. We got Chigs, 6'9", coming in, resubbing for 13 months. Baker's dozen. Love to see it. Can't wait to see you resub for 14 months. Okay? W's. We appreciate you and appreciate all the subs and people joining in here early. Jovan, nobody said it was going to be easy with the squad ride last night. Bradley tried to fold that one away at the end, but it was always San Francisco being frauds in the second half and Bradley and Duke Dean finishing the job. Let's fucking go.
San Fran collapsed every single game in the second half. Never fails.
It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Duke Dean is him. Had almost 20 points last night. If you guys haven't seen that kid play, one of my favorite college basketball players, he might be my favorite mid-major player this season, to be honest with you. The kid never passes. I've never seen him get an assist in my entire life. All he does is splash threes. That's all the kid does. That's all he needs to do. Duke Dean, him, coming through last night, hitting some pivotal threes. Great play last night on the hardwood. Jovan, what else do we have? Sharp report. Take a peep at that as well. See how we did. It's always bittersweet seeing UVA up there again, even if there's a green check mark. Hey.
Yeah, WK from Krabs.
Best case scenario, Jovan, with UVA there. They lose the game outright, but we get a cover.
Yeah.
It's literally Christmas for me.
Couldn't ask for any more if you're Krabs.
It's facts. Yep. Michigan, we're going to talk about that in a moment. Jovan, you got anything to talk about with Houston?
Dude, I mean, I could bitch about Houston for so long, man. So long. But we're used up all my goosage on the college football squares, I guess. So
sure.
I won't complain too much.
Sure. We got a hype train moving and grooving, chat. Feel free to get involved. Okay. I hope you guys have been tailing the squad rides of late as well. 6-0-1 in the last 7 plays. 6 wins, 0 L's, 1 push in the last 7. Let's keep it moving and grooving. Let's finish December strong, like we talked about yesterday, Jovan. And let's find another winner for tonight. Let me know in chat if you tailed the squad ride last night. I want to get a roll call going. Drop a 1, drop a me, drop a yes, anything. Emoji, hand up, right? Let me know if you guys tailed the squad ride last night. I want to see who's getting involved and who still believes, right? We got a couple OGs in here. Aloha Bet, Cincy, Billy the Kid, Cohen's Cake, C. Bernat, Curdy Flirty, Shore, Chaco, Canadian Goots. Good to see him in here. Dead Larry Birds, Legally Obligated. Your pops went to Bradley. Love to see it. Love to see it. Hella Goats tailing. I saw Chiote in chat talking about he listened to the college football playoff pod and Krabs was bitching about the Hokies 5 minutes in. Yes, you're correct. I promise it doesn't last too long now. So go check out the college football playoff pod that we released a couple days ago. If you have not listened to it already or watched it on YouTube, please check out the college football playoff preview. Drop a like. Let me know in the comments on YouTube who's winning the Natty. Let me know who your pick is. And me and Jovan talk about pretty much everything we possibly can for an hour and a half involving these games in the college football playoffs. Go check it out. If you don't want to see our beautiful faces, you can watch or listen on Spotify and Apple Music. Okay? We'll drop the link to the YouTube in the chat. W. Goots, love to see it. Prime bricked for Mateer to the Sooners. Yeah, you know he's got to be. Great pick up there. Let's stay focused. I do want to bitch about something here real quick, Jovan, before we get into the plays, the winners for tonight. Do we have a minute for me to complain about something?
Of course we do.
Dudes, go ahead and run that shit. I'll tell you what, Jovan, not fouling up 3 points might be the most stubborn, stupidest coaching strategy. I guess you could call it. It's a dumb one, but it is still a strategy. Not fouling when you're up 3, put the kids on the free throw line. I'm no rocket scientist, Jovan, but if you foul somebody and you're up 3 points, they can't fucking beat you because they only get 2 free throws. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's why it's a strategy.
Yeah, that's why smart teams do it. That's why winning teams do it. I cannot believe how that played out. I mean, you could feel it, right? The momentum shifting in the second half of that game. Michigan was holding on for dear life. And guys, Danny Wolf did what he could do. He did his best, right? He's only one man. He can only do so much. And Vlad had a great game as well. To be honest with you, he was the MVP of that one. Riddle me why he was on the fucking bench for the entire second half of that game, too. Was he tired? Get his ass out there. He's a foot taller than anybody else on Oklahoma. What are we doing? Give him the ball every fucking time. Him and Danny Wolf, whenever they were both on the floor, it worked. And it would go back and forth, and they would put the ball in the hoop and a layup. It was the easiest fucking offense of all time. Why'd they put his ass on the bench? Oh, and then not fouling up 3 with 10 seconds left. And you're letting this kid who's just absolutely tweaking the entire game, literally fear Aiken, costing us coins. You can't make it up, Jovan. We got Fear Aiken out here making 4-point plays to cost us coins. Who had that script? Fear Aiken had 35 points last night, the freshman for Oklahoma.
He's
Unbelievable.
Dude. He's actually so good.
He took over
So
that
good.
game. Number one, that wasn't a foul. Number two, it shouldn't have even been in question because they should have already fouled before that fucking shot was even off. What are we doing? Foul if you want to win. It's the stupidest, stubborn coaching strategy of all time, not fouling up 3. Do you want to win the game or what? I don't get it. I can't think of a single reason why you don't foul there. So stupid. Cost him the game.
Couldn't tell you why. For sure not a foul. I just don't know what we're doing. Don't know what we're doing.
God. Even if it's not a foul, what are you doing getting up in his face like that?
I mean,
God
you know he's going to kick his feet out and flop and get the call. But
we got Coalition
I don't know
Breezy
why
coming in resub, and at least we got that. Jovan, he's coming in hot. 9-month resub saying so dialed. Yes, we're going to stay dialed.
Breezy.
And unfortunately, Michigan for me was one of the only losers on the slate. So sure, it was a ghost foul. We can complain about that, but what we should be complaining about is Michigan's coach. Golly, I was just gassing him up yesterday too for turning Michigan around. Then he does shit like that. That's why you were coaching at FAU before this, buddy. Unbelievable.
Jeez.
Unbelievable. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Before we get into some winners for today, I want to go ahead and remind you guys, not only should you check out the college football pods that we just plugged and talked about, you guys need to check out Coin Toss when that gets released in a couple hours here, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. The Coin Toss is being released. And if you want to check it out, get some winners for the weekend, get some insight about the college football playoffs, Jovan, you could probably fill in here a little bit too. Check out the Coin Toss. Get involved. All right. It releases this afternoon.
Yeah. Fun episode. We had significantly less games to go over, obviously, because it's playoff weekend, but we snuck a lot of beef in this episode too, talking about all the games. So make sure you tap in.
Wouldn't expect anything less. Go check out the Coin Toss. That should be live on the YouTube at 4 p.m. Eastern. Please check that out. Check out the college football pod that we put up a couple days ago. You got plenty of content for the weekend before you lock in your winners for Saturday. Do me a favor. Drop the like button on those videos. It helps more than you guys know. Seriously. It helps more than you guys know. We appreciate you. Let's keep moving and grooving and killing it. All right. Jovan, we got a big fantasy football matchup around week 2 of what? The semis here? I believe it is. Let's go ahead and take a peep at our matchup and see how our teams are looking. Let's see how our squads are looking. Jovan, look, you're winning right now. I'm projected to win. My team's a fucking wagon, but if you can upset me here, it would be, something you tell your grandkids about. Do you think you could pull off the upset here? How are you feeling about your team heading into week 2 of this matchup? You got a little bit of a buffer, like a 7-point lead.
Yeah, I'm so pissed it's not a 1-week semifinal playoff because I would have been Jeffrey. And I got the generational Josh Allen performance, I guess, to carry me the last couple weeks. But I don't know if my team's built, to be honest with you, to beat your team 2 weeks in a row. Kind of scared. Don't have the dogs.
I mean, yeah. Look, I got some injury concerns as well. I mean, Neighbors is questionable again. He's always questionable, but I'm assuming he's going to go out there and play. I'm probably going to start Chuba Hubbard as my flex, which is not a bad problem to have. Putting a running back there like Chuba coming off a bad game. We could take a peep at the benches here for a sec. I know it's a little grayed out, but you guys can probably still see it. Jovan, are there any guys you're contemplating plugging in, from your bench, or are you pretty much set?
I mean, it's kind of tough. I just obviously had to sit Garendo and bring up Travis Etienne, which is hilarious, but I also was kind of probably going to put him in anyway, if probably not for Garendo, but I was probably going to put him in for Tyrone Tracy, if not, because he's sneakily with Mac Jones, but kind of a PPR demon. He's caught like 4 and 5 passes the last couple of weeks, so I need him to do something, and I think the Raiders game is probably maybe not the best for just overall points, but we know those defenses are going to be in tank-off mode, so we'll see how that works. He could probably get in the end zone, and I will probably be taking that anyway, but he's really the only question mark. I have no other guys with all of the injuries in my lineup unless I want to contemplate throwing Josh Downs in there for Hopkins, which maybe I do, maybe I don't.
I'll be honest, Jovan, I am not comfortable right now in this position. I mean, obviously you're winning. You had a great week 1 here in this 2-week matchup, so I already wouldn't be comfortable, but I'm looking at some of your players and their matchups. I think DJ Moore is going to grub in this game. I'm not saying the Bears are going to win, but I'm sure he's going to get fed once again like he's been getting fed. Devonta Smith has been so bad this season, Jovan, but if there's one thing I know about him and the Commanders, it's that he torches the heck out of us 9 times out of 10 that he plays us, and he already kind of had a shit game the first time around. So he's probably going to tweak and go off. Trey McBride, I'm sure, will get a couple touchdowns. Not just one, but probably multiple in this game, considering you're starting him at tight end. And I'm kind of fucked at tight ends. I got Ferguson right now. He doesn't even get the rock. He might still be concussed. I don't know what's going on with him. They're not feeding him the ball. So I got to decide between him or Brenton Strange at tight end, or even going to pick up a guy like Kate Otten, who's available right now on the waiver wire, who's been so bad. So
those are 2 great options, Krabs, because Ferg is going to go off this week, unfortunately.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. He's playing the Bucs, dude.
They are playing the Bucs. Great matchup. They can't cover a tight end to save their life, right?
No, they let Stone Smart look like Tony Gonzalez last week.
Correct. So I'm hoping and thinking that Ferg's going to get fed and be a PPR menace here. And I'm debating between Chuba Hubbard and Bucky Irving really right now in my flex. I also have Jacoby Myers. I got Adam Thielen up and moving as well. He'd be a solid, consistent piece too. Somebody in chat asked Chuba Hubbard or Bucky Irving, who are you starting? God, it's tough. I think you're in a really good spot both ways. Is Rachaad White playing this week? What's good with him?
He's healthy. Bucky is the one
he's healthy. He just sucks. Bucky's questionable again.
Yeah, Rachaad got a little banged up towards the end of last game, but he stayed in for the end of it. So I think he's fine. He's definitely like significantly less banged up than Bucky is.
Yep. Bucky being banged up sketches me out. We've seen him kind of fall flat a little bit in games this year when he's been dealing with injuries. To be honest, he's been playing through a lot of injuries. So credit to him for doing that when the Bucs are still trying to make a playoff run here. I'm going to go Chuba over a questionable Bucky, but if Bucky was healthy as an ox, I'd probably go Bucky, to be honest with you. But that's where my head's at right now.
Yeah, they're playing the Cowboys. If anything, I mean, if he was fully healthy, that's a guy that would win you a fantasy week. Hands up. Like, no competition.
I agree. Now, you wouldn't get crazy and bench Saquon Barkley this week against the Commanders, would you? You have to just start him.
I mean, if you want to do that, be my guest, Krabs. I would love that. Would absolutely love that.
Oh, man. All right, we'll see how it goes. I'm not feeling too confident about making the comeback here, but I'm still the favorite to win this puppy. I should win this puppy. My team is stacked. I'm a little bit worried about some of Jovan's guys. I'm happy that you got a Josh Allen against the Patriots this week, so hopefully he won't need to put up a 50 burk, right? But I don't want to go ahead and jinx it there. We'll see.
I think my path to victory is Josh Allen. Maybe he doesn't put up like 50 or 40 like he did the last 2 weeks, but I need a pretty generational performance from him. This is for sure because it's going to matter. Going to be the Trey McBride touchdown week, especially because of the whole Kyler comment narrative. But it's against you, and it's when you need it to not happen. So he's scoring this week, maybe twice. Those are probably the path to victory. Sam Howell probably throws a pick 6 because also against you and gets some points for the Vikings defense. So this is the 3 things that I probably need to happen.
I'm telling you, bro, this is closer than the spread is indicating or whatever the projection for ESPN is indicating here. This could be a closer matchup that goes down to the wire. I'm worried.
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays out. Can we take a peep at Shelly and Mike's matchup on the other side really quick? I just want to see what the projections are looking like. And then we can move and groove and talk about some winners for today, guys.
Mikey's getting porked.
He's getting porked. Now, look, Mikey came in, probably the hottest team in the league. Might not have the best team, but he's got some serious heart, grit, hard worker, and his team's been playing great heading into the playoffs. But dropped a dud week 1. He's going to need a miracle. He's going to need Lamar and Derrick Henry to just go absolutely nuclear against the Steelers. And is that going to happen? Probably not, although I do like the over in that game. So who knows? He's got a chance. And Coach Chelly's got some guys in there who I think could have a little bit of a letdown week. Maybe Stroud struggles. Kamara's really banged up. Rico Dowdle sucks. I think it could be closer than people think, but Mikey's going to need a miracle and a big-time performance after only dropping 88. We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. All right. Yeah, sorry, dudes. Look, I do like the Ravens in the over in that game. You know it. Okay? All right, and Rav coming back in. He said probably not. Well, hey, look, I do like the over in the Ravens. I've seen crazier shit. Can we get the Brian Thomas report? Chat's begging for it, Jovan, before we move. They're begging.
I mean, they're playing the Raiders, Krabs. What do you think the report is for Brian Thomas this week?
Well, let me reword it for you because this could benefit me as well in another league. Terry or Brian Thomas? Who are you picking between those two guys? It's a good problem to have.
I mean, Am I starting Brian Thomas against the Raiders or Terry McLaurin against a team that already clamped him up once, one of the best secondaries in the league right now in a second divisional matchup?
Okay. Brian Thomas. Easy.
Yeah. As much as I love Terry, has to be done.
Last week, you were slurping Brian Thomas. You were saying take his prize pick squares, take him to score a tutty. He did all these things. Are you as confident this week?
Not as.
A little less confident?
Not as, because I do think it's there's a little weirder of a dynamic added to it. Granted that it's going to be like a pretty big tank off game, so like I don't know if they really want to try and run up the score as much or get him in the end zone, but like he's still chasing rookie records, Jags rookie records, and everything, and the matchup is obviously beautiful. So from that perspective, it's pretty much the same.
Okay. OG Sauer coming in, dropping 5 subbies. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 coming in from OG Sauer. Let's fucking go, dude. Him. You're him.
Goat.
We got Godly MQ coming in, resubbing as well. Let's cash. Yes, sir. Hella subbies coming in on a Thursday. Good. Good. Big Cheesy says, I need a kicker. I'm debating on who to play. I mean, if Justin Tucker's available in your league, which he's probably not, I'd pick him up. But you can let me know some guys who are available and happy to answer it. What's the word on Cup after dropping a donut? I mean, I got him in a league. I'm going to keep starting him. And I think I'm going to start him over Terry in that league I was just talking about as well. So I'm trusting Cooper Kupp in a bounce back game. I like the Jets in that game. I'm not going to lie to you, but I also like the over in points. And I feel like after all this Aaron Rodgers drama and bullshit, sure, the Jets might win outright. They might put up a big number, but the Rams are going to keep up and score as well. That could be a good game for squares.
Sure.
That's kind of what I'm thinking there. All right. Sutton or Ladd tonight? If you had to back one of those two gents, who are you going with?
Football brain definitely says Ladd, but it's always in the back of my head that he was also the taco. So I'm not full confidence with that, but I would still say Ladd.
Kind of think it might be Josh Palmer night.
I do. I've seen his squares. I like that, like a lot of his squares too. But I mean, he's big play guy. So I mean, it's not really saying he's going to go out there and get 7 catches for 100 yards. You can just get 1 and be green.
Yeah, and it might just be Cortland Sutton year, to be honest with you. I mean, hanging his jersey up in the rafters up there in Denver. I'd probably go Cortland Sutton, but it's close. Okay. Jovan, why don't we hop in and talk about some winners for today? Enough talking about fantasy, enough talking about the past. All right, let's go ahead and hop in, talk about some winners for today. After I gas up Justin P, 1 million for coming in with a resub. 30 months in here and just had my worst beat ever on Michigan last night. Last leg of two fat parlays. Justin, I'm sorry, boss. That sucks. I take full blame there for giving that one out. That was a moo shit play and could not have ended any worse. That is a atrocious beat. Terrible beat. All right. Let's hop in, talk about some winners. Hype train. I can't even start talking about the plays because you guys are subbing, which is a good problem to have here. We got Slugger269 coming in, resubbing for 20 months. Michigan was brutal. Yes, you're goddamn right, Slugger. It was absolutely brutal. Hype train is moving, grooving, cooking, firing on all cylinders. And so is Sam Houston. And for the Bearcats, now that their head coach JC is going to Temple, I believe, legendary D2 coach, he just got a raise. And guess who's taking over at Sam Houston for the head coaching duties tonight?
Your favorite guy.
Son of a bitch. Yep. Brad Cornelson. Maybe my least favorite person on earth. One of them. And we're betting on him today. I'm taking all my anger, all my hates, all my biases, and I'm crumbling them up. I'm throwing them out the window, and I'm back in the Bearcats. If I could describe this team with one word, it would probably be heart. Heart or grit, or maybe blue collar. This team works their butts off, and their QB, Jovan, that's really where it all starts. He's an absolute stud. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. Hunter Watson tonight's going to show up and show out. I don't care if they don't have their head coach. They got enough, and they got a defense that's solid behind them. Hunter Watson's going to take over this game, probably with his legs, and we'll talk about that more in a moment. Sam Houston, catching a couple extra points with the line moving towards Georgia Southern. Look, they got the former Trojans coach from a couple years ago. He's kind of building up that program down there, done a really good job with it, turning them around. They've had a great season, 8-4. They come into this bowl game with the momentum. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. But let's not forget how the Bearcats got here. After an incredible season, guys, we talked about this team on the preseason pod. Their win total, Jovan, was at what, 4.5?
Yeah.
One of my favorite plays. Guys, they got 9 wins, and they're looking for number 10. All right, and I'll tell you what, with this JUCO rule that got passed yesterday or whatever they're talking about, to where these kids might get an extra year of eligibility in the D1 level, you're looking at a clear-cut Hunter Watson, a guy who it falls right in that bucket, Jovan, a guy who comes over from JUCO who might end up having another year of eligibility now. He's got something to prove on the big stage tonight against Georgia Southern. I would not be shocked if he takes over this game and they win this one outright. It's just been a year of destiny for Sam Houston and the Bearcats. And how does Georgia Southern thrive? They run the day football. Sam Houston's got a pretty solid rush defense. And I think they show up, even without their head coach tonight, and play the same ball they played all year. I'm backing that Bearcats defense to show up and do enough. I'm fading Georgia Southern, who's had just a legacy season, and I'm backing the Bearcats, who are a team of destiny. I can't believe I'm saying it, behind Brad Cornelson.
How'd that feel?
Cannot believe it.
Come out of your mouth, Krabs.
Cannot believe it. Doesn't feel right. That's how I know it's a winner.
It's unbelievable. Just unbelievable. We're betting on him today, and I kind of agree.
Reading through chat real quick. Okay, keep going. What else we got up here, chat? Let's go to play number 2. Let's talk about a nasty CBB play before we get to the NBA. Let's talk about Utah Tech, and probably the nastiest bet on the college basketball slate. Not a great slate, not one ranked team playing today, Jovan, unfortunately, but it ain't much. It's honest work, and we're going to find winners out there. Utah Tech is sitting at 3-10 right now. They've had a bad season. They've lost 4 games in a row. They're getting crushed. It's not really close. South Dakota comes into this game winners of 3 of their last 4 games. They're coming off a big win against Western Illinois, who's a solid mid-major college basketball team. They also beat Wyoming the game before that. Utah Tech can't buy a win. They've hung around in a couple games. Weber State, they only lost by a handful in their last contest. But like I said, they've lost 4 games in a row. But the competition, the level of skill from the opponents for both these two teams playing tonight in this game, Jovan, it's night and day. Utah Tech's been playing some good teams. So although they haven't been winning, they've been keeping a couple of these games close, and they've at least had good competition they've played against. South Dakota's played against really nobodies. Northern Arizona, Idaho State, shout out the Potatoes. Wyoming is not the big and bad team they used to be a couple of years ago. They haven't played anybody. I'm taking Utah Tech, who's had a much more battle-tested schedule so far this season, Jovan. I'm throwing these records for these two teams out the window. I don't care if South Dakota's 9-4. I don't care if Utah Tech's 3-10. They're home. They're getting this big-time win. I wouldn't be surprised if they went outright in this spot, and we cannot deny that this line looks fucking ridiculous on paper as well. Seeing South Dakota only laying 2.5, 3 points against an abysmal Utah Tech squad. Well, I'll back Utah Tech here at home, and I'll fade South Dakota, who's overperforming out the wazoo.
Yeah, I'm in for that. That's a gross, just vintage Krabs play. I didn't even recognize the logo at first.
Yeah, Utah Tech. Most people won't. Okay? Utah Tech, chat. Get involved. Krabs, you hear Green Bay coach says he doesn't want to play against nobody you and proceeds to lose outright. Yeah, not a great week for Doug Gottlieb. Tough week for Doug Gottlieb, to say the least.
Really bad week for Doug Gottlieb, man.
He might have to go back to the drawing board here. He's getting exposed, roasted. Krabs, any thoughts on Oakland snacks? I'm right there with you with Oakland. It was a honorable mention. I actually had it on here before taking it off for another play. Could definitely get behind Oakland, and I might bet it myself. Like that play a lot. Hype train still moving a groove, and love to see it, chat. Level 3. Keep that puppy rolling. Okay? One more play for you guys, then we'll get to Jovan's straight bets. The Knicks. Probably the game of the night in the NBA tonight. And again, riddle me why every single team in the NBA plays. And they can't have, these games split up a little bit across the days. But the Knicks and T-Wolves play tonight, Jovan, and they're playing on TNT prime time. So these guys want to show up and show out, and we'll craft up a TNT 2-piece here in a little bit, chat. But these two teams made a big-time trade before the season, Jovan, didn't they? Sending some stars, right, to their different squads, right? So you got that angle going, and I know the Knicks already beat the T-Wolves earlier this season when they played them, which a lot of people will probably be like, well, this isn't very crabby. You're back in the Knicks to beat them again for the 3rd time in a row. But the T-Wolves finally, after a slow start to the season, have started to catch fire a little bit. They've won and covered 4 of their last 5 games. They're starting to play like a team that made a run last year again. They're starting to show their true colors. It's a solid basketball team. But seeing them only open up, laying a point and a half in this game, confusing. I was a little bit confused. I'm not going to lie to you. And I do like the over in points in this game. That totals up 3 points as well. But I thought instead I'll back the Knicks on the road. Who the heck wants to back them when they've already beaten the T-Wolves? In my opinion, the much easier angle is to back the red-hot T-Wolves to get their lick back after losing the first matchup of the season. against the Knicks. Well, I think the Knicks come in here and they win this game outright potentially, but I'll take the 2.5 in a game that could go down to the last possession, last shot. These two teams want to beat the crap out of each other with the recent trades that happened in the offseason. Primetime game on TNT should go down to the wire anyways. I like points, and I like the Knicks, and I think they win this one outright.
So down, Krabs. It's a gross play. Gross play. TNT definitely got a square in that game, too. We'll talk about. But I'm with you.
Ooh, okay. All right. Let's go to your straight bets and see what you're crafting up today, Jovan.
Also, I didn't even realize I had 3 overs on the board, but
okay.
Start in the NBA, which something that I noticed because they had the little long layoff. Everybody who didn't play in the Cup championship game did, and last year, because I kind of wanted to test the rest versus rust theory, I kind of just paid attention to it, and then I went back and looked. The overs in that first day where everybody was coming back playing went 11-2. So I think if we're talking about rest versus rust, I don't think the rust is going to be a big factor today. And I like a couple of overs, not the only pair of points that I like in the NBA today, but by far my favorite. And the Hawks did actually play kind of later in the NBA Cup. They played in some of the semi games or quarter games. I guess they technically were too. I played some low scoring affairs. One of them was against the Bucks, and that was a really good game, really low scoring defensive game, which is unlike, both of those teams, frankly, but especially the Hawks. Now they get to face a Spurs team who is getting healthier, and now you're going to get to show. It's going to be nothing nearly as ugly as I think that Spurs Trailblazers game was. Part of that was because of CP3, but on both sides you have transition defenses, and in the case of the Spurs that are kind of middle of the pack, and then the Hawks are pretty low towards the bottom of the NBA, and then you have two main facilitators that thrive in both those areas, and Chris Paul and Trae Young. So I feel like this is going to be a game with a lot of free-flowing offense, obviously on both sides. You're going to have wings that can score at a pretty high level. So I think there's going to be points in this game. I think there's a reason why not only this total, but a couple across the NBA are rising today. And I want to buy in to the rest versus rust because, again, last year we saw it was a lot more rest. There were a ton of teams scoring 120 plus, even more than that. There are a couple of teams that scored 130, 140 last year. So I think we're going to see that a lot today too.
Love that play. Damn, so we like both overs on the TNT games, huh?
Yeah. Well, one of them's a little grosser than the other.
Certainly. Certainly. And yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to bet that other one. I'll probably just stick with the Knicks. So yeah, I could so get down with this over, Jovan. I even thought about, I was looking at this side for a while. And now we're seeing the Spurs back to a favorite. I feel like the line's been bouncing around back and forth. Do you have a lean as to who wins this game or what team you think carries the weight for this over? Because, I spent way too much time trying to find a side in this sketchy game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of like the Spurs. I'm not sure that I'm getting not getting trapped and leaning that way because they're getting healthier. Like Castle's back. They're going to have a lot of guys that you think could score at will against the Hawks defense. And I 100% agree. It's just weird that we're, still getting like Hawks at a short dog against the Spurs, even though it's on the road after two really hard-fought defensive performances in the NBA Cup. It's like I don't know that I lean aside really strongly necessarily. Spurs, if anything, but it's part of the reason why I'm going with the over.
Okay. What about that over on the ice? We like
that one. Absolutely disgusting, Krabs. Disgusting, because the Penguins are involved. So maybe at first glance you say, let's take goals because the Penguins are absolutely rat shit. And defensively, anytime they get exposed, which is very, very often, they just open the game up and there's goals. The thing is, the team on the other side is quite the opposite. The Predators, even though they're playing, I guess you could say, I don't want to give them much better, but they kind of shifted up the lines, shifted up the top line. So they've been playing much better since they made that shift. They just shut out the Rangers 2-0 in their last game. So it's not like they're having like the strongest offensive performances of all time, but they look better. They look more cohesive. I kind of want to buy that going into this game, especially now that they're playing, a Penguins team that defensively, like if you're direct against them, you're going to score goals. And look who's in that tonight, Tristan Jarry, who's absolute rat shit. And the only reason the Pens were able to stay in that game against the Kings in the last one, I don't know if you remember that, but we were talking about that 5.5 total, super low. The Pens usually don't get 5.5 totals, and Nedeljkovic was in net, who's the better goalie than Jarry, or at least who has been recently. And Nedeljkovic had a good game, kept him in the game. Tristan Jarry's going to start tonight. And If anybody's watched Tristan Jari, some of his worst spots, when he is bad, he is really, really bad. And seeing this total, which I believe briefly opened up at 5.5 and it goes up to 6, you don't see that very often at Preds games, especially with them being decent sized favorites at home. I kind of want to buy that this is the game where they start to put it together offensively, especially on that top line, and we get a Jari disaster class. And I do think the Penguins can keep up a little bit, which is why I'm keeping them in the fold, but I'm buying the 6. I think this is a big offensive game, and we haven't seen really in a while from the Preds.
Both teams coming off of unders in their last game. Sure.
Yeah.
I can see some points. You think the Preds win this one? DeGen's talking about them in chat.
Yeah, I think it's the Preds. I think this is like a 5-2, 5-3 type game.
Okay. Let's go to that over on the gridiron before I start asking you some more hockey questions.
Yeah, nasty, because I've seen millions of unders on the feed for this today. And I'm not just taking the opposite because of that, but the whole thing that I immediately wanted to do with this game, because, I mean, you look at it, two really good defenses, even though Baker just made the Chargers defense look like a JV high school team last week. Shout out Baker. What I really wanted to back in this game was the Justin Herbert bounce back game against this defense, which, again, really good defense, strong defense. But as far as anything Justin Herbert's been really good against this season, they don't run a lot of it because the Bucs and the Broncos couldn't be more different defenses. And I was frankly shocked. This is the one game for the Bucs that I was scared about the rest of the second half of the regular season, just because not only they were like the best team they play, but the Bucs had to go on the road to do it against a very tough defense in themselves. But if you look, these like soft zone defenses, Justin Herbert has not looked fantastic against this year. And the Bucs game was kind of a microcosm of that. Not that he looked terrible in that game necessarily, but he made a lot of non-Justin Herbert-like throws, including the pick, obviously. The Broncos, as good of a defense as they are, they run a lot of heavy man coverage. And it also helps that his best wide receiver against pretty much everything, but Ladd McConkey's been the guy. He's going to be in the slot, where the best corner in football, you could argue, is not going to be and has never been this season for the most part. He plays on the outside, so he's going to be seeing more of guys like Quentin Johnston and maybe Josh Palmer, and Ladd McConkey is going to be across the middle of the field, which is the one area where the Broncos have really, really struggled a lot as a defense. So I think the Chargers offense bounces back. And frankly, like, even though they won convincingly against the Colts last week, the Broncos and Bo Nix did not look good in the slightest either. So their defense contributed, obviously, with that pick six on the weird trick play. But Bo Nix looked absolutely horrible against the Colts defense. Kind of sat back and just let him do his thing too. So I feel like this is a bounce back spot for both these offenses when nobody expects it, partially because this is a second divisional matchup where the first one already was a big time defensive struggle and we didn't see many chances taken. The game was stuck on the ground a lot. I don't think this is going to be how this goes. So I guess I'm mainly banking on the Chargers and Herbert, but I do think Bo Nix and the offense makes this interesting too.
Yeah, I like the Chargers in this game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I love everything to play it, but I could get behind that over as well. I think it's a great sell job. Do I like taking overs in game number 2 when we've already seen the first game somehow go over, even though it was ugly? No, but I hear your sides, and I've seen a lot of unders in this game, and the under makes more sense. It's definitely a square play, so I could certainly get behind the over in this spot. Okay. I got a hockey question for you real quick that I don't want to, I don't want to let it get swept because I don't want to forget about it. Before we get to the prize pick squares, you see that Stuart Skinner 2.5 goals allowed square that's up on prize picks.
Ooh, they just put goals allowed squares up, did they?
Why don't you go take a peep at that square for me, will you?
Oh boy.
Because
I like the Oilers in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the Oilers coming off that loss to Florida, right? And that crazy great game that we watched a couple nights ago that we cashed on. Edmonton probably trying to get some revenge after not only getting embarrassed in the Stanley Cup, but getting embarrassed in that rematch the other night. That's their most recent game, right? Before that, they were on fuego. And I think the Bruins might be a little fraudulent. And seeing the Oilers up to what, minus 185? Minus 185 in this spot? Come on, dudes. I don't know if there's something we could pair it with and get it closer to plus 100, Jovan, but I really don't want to let this get swept. And looking at that Stuart Skinner square after giving up 9 goals in his last 2 games combined, I'll tell you right now, Boston's not scoring more than 2 goals in this game. I don't know what the best way is to make some coins on it. Obviously, going to have the less than on that square, But is it just squaring up for Kitch and laying Edmonton on the ML? Is it taking Boston's team total under, like I wish I did yesterday in that Florida game? And it just take the one team total underside that I thought about, but I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm just going to trust. And it would have been green as ma. But I know as soon as I flip-flop to that tonight, it'll be cake. And then I should have just stuck with the side. So I want your thoughts on that game. Best way to play Edmonton or back them to win this game, or Boston under 2.5 goals?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up, because I was going to bring up that I just wanted to pair them in a two-piece with something. And I was going to kind of weave around it as we were talking about some sides. Maybe something would pop out.
Okay.
But, I mean, big-time fat, happy, and complacent spot for Boston, because last game of their 5-game road trip and the last 2 games they just played, they just had a pretty impressive comeback, win in OT against the Flames and Dustin Wolf, and they demolished the Canucks right before that game. So it's the last game of this little homestand, and it's the Oilers coming off of that crazy loss. So, yeah, I think they win this game. Somebody also tagged me in like a little boost up there they had with the Bruins to win. Granted, it was local, but those are still few and far in between in this economy. So,
yeah,
Oilers
all right.
might go to two-piece.
Yeah, we don't need to force. We can let it come to us. Worst case scenario, maybe we take Boston's team total under, looking at that goalie square. But me personally, and I think you too, listen to you talk about it, rather find another parlay piece, make that a 2-piece greaser, right? We'll see what we can come up with.
Yeah.
All right, not the greatest slate, but again, we can't force that. We got to let it come to us, the second leg for that. All right? Awesome. And would prefer it to not be on the ice. I typically like doing 2 pieces for different sports.
Diversify the portfolio.
Sure. Please, Krabs, no interception square. Don't you worry. They don't even have any up to take. You lucky sons of guns. And Justin Herbert threw his first pick in months last week. So you guys are lucky this week. Why don't we get to the prize pick squares? Go ahead and pull those up, talk about them. I mentioned Hunter Watson, the glue guy for Sam Houston. So much heart. He oozes it on the field. And he's going to be breaking some runs looking like Lamar Jackson. Shout out Goots tonight in this game. Lights will be bright. That's when Hunter Watson plays his best ball. He's showing up, showing out on the ground. I don't like his passing yards. Thought it'd be a little bit higher, in my opinion, in that game, especially with them being dogs in this game. But I like his rush yards, and I think he carries the weight on the ground. We know he's an absolute dual threat machine. And looking at this defense he's facing tonight, I don't have a worry in the world. I see points in this game, and I see Sam Houston coming out on top. And if that's the case, it's got to be Hunter Watson on the ground, utilizing his legs, and that square looks a little red. If I could say so myself, I think he's carrying the weight on the ground and getting a big-time win for the Bearcats, or at least a cover, Jovan, utilizing his legs in this game, being a true dual threat.
Yeah, I was looking. I mean, obviously I had to look at this game for squares, and that's one of the ones that's in the running. So I didn't mind that at all. It's also because
hell yeah,
I know Ducker is playing, but him and I think all the rest of the running backs are still in the portal. So
do you think Cornelson is rewarding him the rock after saying I'm heading out of here?
I would assume his number is going to be called. I think the backup quarterback is also in the portal too. It's like I don't think they would be taking Hunter Watson out or sharing snaps with different packages, but they've been known to do that throughout the regular season.
Sure.
So
this
maybe
is the Hunter Watson
also
game,
not a part
though.
of the fold. Yeah.
This is the Hunter Watson game.
And the Georgia Southern run defense is horrendous.
Yeah, they're not great. They're not worst in town. I was doing some digging on that. They're around middle of the pack in FBS. So yeah, nothing to write home about. More than enough opportunities for Hunter Watson to hit that square on the ground. Okay. My book offers Oilers ML minus 170. Should I take that by itself? Just wait, Will. Like we just talked about, let's be a little patient here and see if another leg comes to us. If not, worst case scenario, you can always lay the juice, not fear it and embrace it, because I do think that's a winner, but give us some time. All right, let's see if another play comes to us that we can pair it with. We got some subbies coming in here, Jovan. Dilgod coming in, resubbing for 33 months. Good to see you, Goat. W. Dilgod, let's have a weekend. Yes, sir. OG Sour blessing up that Rito. W. Rito getting a subby from OG Sour. Very generous today, OG. The gambling gods will appreciate that. They should reward you for your efforts here. Good to see it. Hype train moving and grooving. Krabs, who would you start in fantasy, Ladd or Sutton? I would start Sutton, but it's close. Jovan, I was getting some Ladd vibes.
Yeah,
I was getting some Ladd vibes.
Ladd, okay. But I don't feel good about it.
Okay. Yeah, that probably doesn't help you at all, but good luck.
Yeah.
Okay, good luck. Sure, there's a lot of people asking that same question. All right, yeah, Gus Edwards, I think he scores a touchdown, but I want to limit the risk here. and take his fantasy score, Jovan, because I do think there's a chance he could break one. I think he's got one big run left in him. If you go on Twitter and type in Gus Edwards, you'll see the meanest things you've ever seen written about a person. What did Gus Edwards do? Leave him alone. What do you expect out of him? He's not Saquon Barkley. Give me a break. What do we know about the Chargers offense and Gus Edwards of late? It's that he's been underperforming. People are calling for Vital, right? They're saying, why don't you bring in Vital to the fold, give him some more carries? Well, he does have his old OC still calling the shots and calling the plays out there in LA, Jovan, and I don't think he's heard no bell when it comes to Gus Edwards. And I think he gets fed once again today, for better or for worse. Thought about the attempts, thought that was weirdly high. Who the heck wants to take his more than 10 attempts after how bad he's been? He's averaging like 2 yards per carry on the ground the last couple of weeks. Absolutely atrocious. But I think he gets a touchdown. Wouldn't be surprised if he breaks one as well. So I'm taking his fantasy score. And I do think the Chargers win this game. And when everybody's getting cute taking Vital, everybody's getting cute taking Herbert rushing yards, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the GOAT, who I know the OC is still going to give the rock to, for better or for worse. And that's Gus Edwards, especially on the goal line if they get there. It's got to go to Gus. Feed your bruiser. Okay, I think he scores a tutty, but I'll take the fantasy score instead of that demon. Give ourselves a better chance if he breaks one and doesn't score. Okay?
Sure. I'm in.
Yeah, they could give him a confidence booster at the goal line, Prospers. I don't disagree. And I love seeing Jovan on that over as well. Good sign. What are you cooking up on Prize Picks?
We see a Julius Pork, 1.5 threes, double bagel against his former team, the Knicks, on TNT. You're damn right I'm taking it, Krabs. You're damn right I'm taking it. Especially because, like, I was looking at kind of how he operates in the offense, because, like, he can go ISO all the time, whether it's from the three-point line or a little bit inside or in the post or anything. He's actually been shooting a lot more from three against a lot of the tougher half-court defenses, which, like, if you look at someone like that, I guess the poorer transition defenses, he's not really a part of the offense from the three-point line in those games because they're getting to the rim much easier. But the Knicks are a much better defense in the half court. They're much tougher at the rim, and they're also much tougher in letting him get to his spot. So I think he's going to have to settle a little bit, because I would assume they haven't played this year, but he's going to get either the Mikal Bridges matchup or the OG Anunoby matchup. I don't really know how they're going to spread that across the floor, but regardless, those are two fantastic on-ball defenders that are going to make life tough on him to get to the rim. What happens when Julius Randle, it's a little tougher for him to get to the rim? He settles from three. So I am 100% willing to take the chance on this, and definitely helps that, again, he's off the double bagel, little juice towards the over, coming off just a single or three attempt in his last game against the Spurs, which, again, much worse transition defense. Same with the game right before that against the Lakers. Horrendous transition defense. I'm taking it. Double bagel against his former team is a mandatory take.
Timeout. I think I just found something weird.
What did you find?
And I don't want to discredit that Julius Randle square, because I was listening while also looking at the boards. That is a great angle. And yes, I could totally see some extra defense being played in this game, in this matchup between, familiar players, right? And maybe Julius Randle's big ass isn't able to get to the paint or get to the rim as easily as he is at times. Maybe he has to settle behind the three-point arc, and we've seen that before. So I'll tell you what, guys, I think I just found a crazy square. I'm looking at Anthony Black.
Yeah.
Half a three-pointer made. This guy hasn't hit a three since literally the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm looking at the books, and I'm seeing him up for minus 155 to get 1-3. What the fuck's going on?
For one?
What's going on here? 1+, minus 155.
Yeah.
Looking at it right here. What's up with that? Is that cake? Is that a trap?
Could be. I don't know.
I feel like I'm going to lock that in right now with the Stuart Skinner less than 2.5 goals allowed square, and just see what happens.
Sure. I will
say, see what happens.
I remember Trent was in here spamming that Lou Dort blocks and steals was up for minus 150. He didn't know why he was even offered on the board, and he didn't come close.
Okay. And it's the first square that pops up when you click on that category.
Yep.
I'll be the test dummy here. I'll take one for the team. Okay. I'll go ahead and lock in a 2-piece. Anthony Black, more than half a field goal made. Stuart Skinner, less than 2.5 goals allowed. Locked it in.
I'm taking it.
You want the link?
No, it's 2 squares, dude.
Good. Good answer. That was a test. I'll give it to the people in chat, though. I just dropped the link there, chat. I'll be the test dummy there. I'll be the guinea pig. Okay, but if you want to get involved and tell yourself, the link is in the chat. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. And Jovan, let's go ahead and bring this full circle because I don't want to discredit your squares up here on the board. That Julius Randle look is a great look coming off of Shug's bagel. Even with the Knicks ticket in my pocket, sign me up. I'm in. I like the over. Love that square. What about Stamkos?
Sure. Yeah, not often do I get to back Steven Stamkos in the Big 2-4, and I think the only time I've done it really this season is when he went and played the Lightning, which is an obvious narrative. But like I mentioned, I mean, I like goals in this game, but specifically that top line, they brought all of their best players together on the top line, and shockingly, the offense looks better. It works. It allows them to be more aggressive. And Stamkos specifically, like you look at his games, he's either getting 5 or 6, not just in the last 5, but like he's either soaring over 2.5 or he's damn near Shug's bageling. So like whenever he finds a really good matchup, they feed him the puck and he absolutely rips. The Penguins are one of those teams, just like I think the Oilers was his other spike game. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I can double check at the chart real quick, just in recent. Or the Avs. Avs were a spike game where he had 5 2 games ago. They have a similar build on the back end where kind of the way you take advantage of them is you exploit all of the miscommunications and mistakes they make at the back. The Penguins, I mean, are a worse defense. I guess you could argue they're kind of similar, but you beat them the same way. They're very unorganized at the back, and guys like Stamkos can just sit in their office and absolutely rips. Like these are the guys that have been beating the shit out of these defenses, not just the Pens, but similar defenses all year. So it's a weird square, I guess, to see up because he is really, really red outside of that game against the Avs. But I think there's going to be a renaissance of the offense. Now they've kind of mixed it up and it's looked better, like I said, for the last couple of days or last couple of games. Stamkos is going to be ripping tonight. It's one of those games where I think it's his to win, his to lose.
I mean, looking at the chart, sure, it's a goat you're backing, but I could get behind this one. Red as ma.
Yeah.
Red as ma, right? Hasn't been doing shit. Like the Preds in this game, like some goals in this game. Let's rip the damn puck. Get it done, Stamkos. Is this Stammer? Is this what everybody calls Stammer all the time? Cool nickname.
Yeah.
Come through tonight. Let's put our trust in Stammer. I just locked in the BTL Sharp Report 4-man, Jovan. I'll drop the link in chat for people.
Yeah.
Okay.
For what it's worth, he was also CP3 last game. Got
good.
He assisted on. They only won 2-0. He assisted on both their goals. So I think that was against a little tougher of a defense than the Rangers. Now it flips, and I think they need him to be a little more aggressive himself today.
Okay. All right. Julius Randle, not asking for the world, just hit 2 threes, man. And Steven Stamkos, 2.5 SOGs. Rip puck. Do job, please. All right. We got Waka 23 coming in, resubbing for 13 months. Let's go, Waka. Sure we can. Love to see it. All right, chat. W Sharp Reports. Hope you guys got your daily fix of winners on Prize Picks, on straight bets. And while we proceed here, we'll talk about some games. Maybe we'll head to the association and take a look at some of the NBA games here in a sec. The Sharp Report plays will be scrolling across the bottom ticker, guys. So if you're wondering what the heck we're on today, what our favorite angles are, they will be scrolling across the bottom bar here in a moment. All right, W. Goodsey. Let's go ahead and proceed, Jovan. I want to talk about the NBA, and I want to craft up an NBA two-piece for TNT. All right, we owe the people another TNT two-piece. Why don't we look at this board real quick? And I would love to address this Wizards game. Remember when Kyle Kuzma tweeted out, you just don't want to be that team? Was that a year or two ago? Was that about the Hornets? I was trying to remember that the other day.
No, I think it was
I'm sure
the
Jack could help us out.
It was the
too.
Pistons.
Was it about?
When they were
Was
on
it the
streak.
Pistons?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm off the Wizards. But I cannot deny seeing them, catching only a handful of points in any scenario makes me think that maybe they show up and after a little bit of a break, maybe it is the Wiz Kids or just that over in that game. You got any thoughts on Charlotte versus the Wizards?
Well, funny enough, how I was talking about how when the teams came back from the break last year, they gave up a ton of points and it was super high scoring pretty much across the league in every game.
Yep.
Who gave up 146 points when they came back from the break?
The Wizards.
The Wizards.
I mean, they don't play a lick of defense. They never have. They never will.
Yeah. I was like, I was trying to look at any reason because, I mean, this is probably – you're going to have some pretty square angles in this game. LaMelo's probably going to be one of them because everybody's, I assume, is going to be on him today in some form or fashion against this defense. I don't see how he's not chucking. I don't see how he's not facilitating. I don't see how he's not a triple-double threat, but I assume that's the thought of every single person today, and I would not mind squaring up and taking it today because I think it's just going to be that type of game.
Points. Maybe the over is the best look here instead of putting your hard-earned coins on the Wizards to win a game.
Krabs, do you think the Hennessy Lounge is sold out tonight?
Goots, if I had to guess, I'd say the attendance at the Hennessy Lounge tonight is going to be thin.
No, you know what? It might be kind of packed. I'm thinking about like who some of the Hornets are going to be flying out to DC. They for sure got some on the roster in DC. LaMelo's probably
Jordan Poole might be flying people out too.
Jordan Poole at home. You got Miles Bridges coming into town too, dude. You got Brandon Miller coming into town. Like their roster is for sure flex to the DMV.
For sure.
You think?
We might have to pop out.
Yeah, there's no fucking chance I'm stepping foot in that building. Are you kidding me? For a Hornets Wizards game?
I really want to go to the Hennessy Lounge. Why not?
They should pay you to attend that game. They should hand you dollar bills walking in. A 20-piece. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your service.
Next time you get a call, just direct it to me. I'll handle it. We're going, crap.
I have not gotten a call from the Wizards ticket office in the last couple of days. It's been a quiet week.
Good.
Maybe they saw the clip.
Disappointing.
They might have saw the clip. I mean, imagine spending $4,000 on Wizards tickets. I don't care what the scenario is. Imagine. I can't. Let's get this game off the screen. Let's go talk about OKC and Orlando. That's the first TNT game tonight. I feel like we could find a square in this one, maybe. I know we have that Julius Randle in the back pocket for the second TNT game, Jovan, and I would not be opposed to putting that one in there. But why don't we slow our roll here and start with OKC Orlando, the first TNT game tonight, and talk about the angle for the game first. And then we'll dive into the prize picks board. Total in this game. Is this the only total today dropping? I thought it was already kind of low as well. Maybe this is one of the rare under games today, Jovan, but we know OKC best defense in the NBA, right? So maybe that's why this total is a little bit low and Orlando sucks. So
they also this is obvious, like probably most obvious under of all time, which scares me because not only are these, you got OKC best defense of all time against a Magic team who is super short-handed, obviously, and can't score. So the total's low, total's dropping, and the Thunder just shot. Worse than Trent's worst game in 2K from 3 in that Cup championship game that everybody watched. Everybody got burned by pretty much every single OKC square in that game. Shea was terrible. All the shooters were terrible. So, maybe there's points in this game. As gross as it might be.
Okay. We'll certainly stay off that under then. Let's take a peep at the boards. I'm assuming you think it's an OKC route coming off that embarrassing loss in the championship, right?
Not necessarily. I definitely lean their way. It's just hard to fully back them when you know the Magic are going to shrink the floor as much as they can. But am I betting against OKC? And after that dog shit performance, absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Maybe we take a peep at some of the OKC squares first then. Caruso, first square up, coming off the Shugs bagel. Not really in a rush to take him. He's only at 5.5 points, but interesting coming off a bagel there. Hartenstein's up again. He cashed us the other night.
Yeah, he was like the only Thunder player you could have bet on in that game that actually hit, unless you're fade.
Huh. That's impressive. They've got a half a steal up for him. And no. I'm good on that. Scrolling through the board and chat. Now is the time to drop squares for this game if you have them. Okay, if you have any squares or angles in OKC Orlando, now is the time. Let us know. Okay, if not, we're going to have to crap this puppy ourselves. Jalen Williams' points is interesting to me. His 20.5 points. Could it be a Jalen Williams show?
Certainly could be.
Lou Dort, 9.5 points. Definitely not taking him. That's low as heck.
They have some funny Magic squares on the board.
Oh, do they?
They have a Goga Bitadze, half a 3 attempted.
Fuck. All right, let's go to the Magic. I didn't love anything on the OKC side.
Goga squares up.
Goga beat a DZ?
Yeah.
Sure. Who is this guy? Seriously, who is this guy?
Mr. Big Krabs.
Dude, this is news to me. Goga?
Goga.
Is this like the new spawn of Boban or something? Goga?
I mean, kind of. Sneakily good.
Is he him? Is he him?
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's him, and the Thunder, even with Hartenstein, are still pretty small. Not that really affects the 3-point attempt square, but just him in general. I was kind of looking at in this game.
Goga. Well, I want to make sure I'm checking out some real players as well in the Magic.
Well,
what
don't
about
forget
Jonathan Isaac's here?
Yeah, Jonathan Isaac's goated. Don't forget Anthony Black does also play on the Magic.
He does, and we have that crazy.
If we really
square.
wanted to go that route.
I feel like my work there has already been done. Test dummy guinea pig lineup has already been placed.
Fair.
Jonathan Isaac, 5.5 points is interesting. I'm waiting for you to bring up KCP.
Yeah. I just hate taking. I know the fucking Bucks were Steph Curry, but spot up shooters against the Thunder have just been disastrous to take. But
let's
move on. KCP squares can't be ignored.
No, they cannot. And I think we're doing the chat a disservice if we don't show them that square as well. The 8.5 points for KCP is probably what we would take. I mean, come on. You're telling me KCP isn't banging 3 threes from the corner? He probably won't move or run around the court anywhere else or go anywhere else, but he'll just be standing pat in the corner banging 3 threes?
You're telling me we're looking at this and not automatically making it in the slip?
It's getting there, dudes.
Might have to. I'm a little like, I don't know why they don't have his 1/2 threes up, because that could be a double bagel too, and it's not like juiced heavy one way or the other.
It's weird that it's not up. Probably because it's already green.
I don't know. I've been going back and forth to think maybe it might be the opposite. But
wow.
Because I feel like if it was offered and it was double bagel against the Thunder, that would be spawning green. But I'm still down to put his points in here.
I'm seeing DeGen in chat in all caps. You don't see that every day. Screaming from the mountaintops. It is KCP night for the love of fuck. He's screaming in the chat.
We might have to trust. We might have to trust and put it in here.
He's a Magic fan, right? Play the song. He knows that team. C. Burnett, yes. I have looked at that Anthony Black threes made square. Yep. And that has already actually been locked into a lineup. So, yes, the daily nasty C. Burnett square has already been locked in. Okay. DeGen, I kind of want to ride with it, to be honest with you. KCP, more than 8.5 points. Yeah. I feel like it just has to be placed and put in this puppy at this point.
Let's do it.
Okay. Let's move on to the second game. I know we have your 3 square. Are there any other squares that we're looking at you funny?
Yeah, I mean, we can do some due diligence looking across the board, right?
Because are there no Knicks squares up? Am I tripping, or are those off the board right now?
The Knicks? Oh, I think somebody said something about Josh Hart recently. Like news just dropped that he might not be playing or something. So that's probably why.
Okay, so maybe we got to look at Timberwolves squares.
Yeah.
I know it might make too much sense. Well, I guess that would also not be a Timberwolves square, and it's gone now. But Cat points, if that gets put back up here in the next couple of minutes, was very red looking chart. I know it's kind of a square angle, but against his former team, I mean, wouldn't be shocked.
There's a lot of revenge games in this because of the trade.
Yep. God, I wish they had the Knicks squares up, chat. What the heck? Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
I don't know if you can get me on that one, Krabs.
Can I put one in the ring, please?
Would love to hear it, Goots. What do you got?
The most pissed off player after that trade was this guy on the screen right here.
Contact.
And that's a chart right there that I think you could get behind. He was chirping in the preseason.
God,
he's so just a hothead.
You're so right.
Is Goots in his duff?
I mean, I might be in my duff.
So right. He was so mad.
So pissed. You think you want to go from New York to Minnesota? No.
I kind of like his points and assists.
See, even Trent saying he's been so moose. That has to be music to your ears.
Oh, it is. It's literally Frank Sinatra right in the earlobe. Yep.
I think we do it, dude. We're already going to have double bagel pork and some shit. Why not diversify the portfolio?
Can we take his PA, his points and assists? What if he turns in a CP3 at times and he's got to write it out assist square as well? Can you meet me in the middle there?
I feel like if he's going to do anything in this game, he's hitting threes, dude.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Right.
I would be pissed if he hits 3 threes. He's not CB3 and he got 9 points and we get hooked.
Okay. We'll stick with the points.
2 points.
Right now, looking at KCP more than 8.5 points. Dante DiVincenzo more than 7.5 points. Keeping it simple today. Only one category needed.
3 threes from both guys are great.
Yeah. Do job. Come on. All right. Dante DiVincenzo and KCP, more than points. TNT 2-piece. We've had some good luck with these. Knock on wood. Okay. I just knocked, so we're good. I'll drop the lineup, the link in the chat as well. I'm going to place this puppy right now.
That could actually be the difference.
Yep. Please go through. Bang. Let's go. The PC's firing on all cylinders right now. Let me drop the link in the chat. If you want to tail the TNT 2-piece before we put the graphic out, before any potential bumpages, the link is in the Twitch chat. All right, if you want to get involved, I just put the link in that puppy. Krabs, take a look at John Collins' rebound square. There's nothing I love more than seeing chat and seeing Severnot say Krabs and then knowing the nastiest square of all time is about a follow. And I'm going to go ahead and check that one out right now. Sure. Let me look at John Collins.
I've got one for you too right after that. I don't know
Please.
if you might not be able to help yourself looking at.
John Collins, bless your heart. Who's setting your line at 8 rebounds tonight? You haven't done that in months. What do you got?
There's a crazy Peyton Pritchard threes on the board. Potentially greenest 3-point square last couple games of all time.
Okay. We are now building a secondary NBA lineup at this point. John Collins, more than 8 rebounds. Peyton Pritchard, less than 3.5 field goals made. What else? What has been mentioned today in the chat? Is there anything you've thrown out there that you want to maybe add into this? Besides squares that have already been involved in the lineups we've already locked or the sharp report format?
I mean, could make your way over the dunk category.
Dude.
Could
Say
do
no
it.
more. I'm there.
Could do it.
Trey Murphy, before even clicking the square.
Hartenstein.
Dude.
5 dunks.
Is this how we back that guy, Goga?
Yeah,
Is
it
this
could
how
be
it's
the Goga
done?
spot.
Chat's chanting Goga. What world do we live in right now? What universe is this? Goga. Let me just go ahead and type that in.
Goga.
Goga's looking kind of green, though, man. Do we really want to hop on the Goga bandwagon at this point?
I don't know.
What do you think? I'm seeing some Wendell Carter comments in the chat. Whoa.
Could be
Whoa. How did I miss this one? Looks like Wendell Carter's turning into Shaq tonight.
Could be the difference.
If you were to back Wendell Carter, what would you take for him?
I mean, probably PR or just rebounds. Something has to be rebounds involved against the Thunder.
PR. What were you about to say?
Obligated to tell you. So Chris Paul got ejected from that game we took the over in. Then they played the Timberwolves the game after that, right before the break.
Sure.
You know who what he did in that game?
Jugs Bagel.
Shugs. Now, I mean, his points are obviously they're at 9 and pretty red after that, but he also just randomly has a 1.5, 3 square on the board.
Okay.
Which I think after a bagel for Chris Paul, even though like they're playing the Hawks, it makes a little bit of sense. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, Gates, I've put that turnover square in timeout if that's what you just flashed. Looking at the chart, I'm pretty sure it is.
Just spawns great.
Would you take his 3-pointers made, his 1.5 3-pointers made?
Just might be.
That is an absurd 4-man lineup.
That could be craziest 4-man lineup of the year.
Sweating out Chris Paul to hit threes is actually like that's
It's painful. It's painful.
Yeah.
Should probably be illegal, along with putting Fred VanVleet in the chat. We're going to go ahead and ban him. He sucks. We're not taking that guy. Watch him play basketball. He's not him. He's lost a step. We're not taking him.
But this chart that, dude. Look at it, Krabs. And it's on PopTab.
Never typed a keyboard angrier in my entire life. Type in Fred VanVleet. Dude, I mean, what the fuck? His points are popular as heck. Are people fading him?
You know they're not taking him. It's Fred VanVleet.
He stinks. You like that better than any of these other squares? Collins, Pritchard, Wendell, or CP3?
I mean, no, just because Fred VanVleet, but
Okay.
it's hard to be ignored.
And if I see one more Michael Porter Jr. in chat, I'm going to explode. So I might as well take a peep at his squares.
I mean, yeah.
I can't keep falling for that trap.
Can't.
Of MPJ threes or points. The guy just doesn't do shit. Maybe his back's hurt again. I can't do it. I think we stick with this 4-man here. John Collins, more than 8 rebounds. We go Peyton Pritchard, less than 3.5 3-pointers made. Wendell Carter, more than 16.5 points and rebounds. And Chris Paul, more than 1.5 3-pointers made. I think that's the 4-man.
Yeah, actually be the difference.
Is that nasty enough for you?
I mean, that's plenty nasty, I think.
Okay. I'm locking it in right now. Chat, you guys want the link to that NBA 4-man 10Xer? Or are you letting that splurge? There's no right or wrong answer to that question, but I will drop the link in the chat. Okay? I'll drop the link in the chat.
Yeah, link.
God, people hate that CP3 square. And yes, Big Bubs, I probably will regret not putting Fred VanVleet in there for the rest of my life, but it's already done. It's already done, brother. Okay?
We know.
We
know
damn well.
Groove. We know damn well he's getting snuck into a lineup at some point today.
Yeah, there's no rule that says I can't place any more lineups today, right? I don't see a rule there. Okay, good. All right, just take Nickeil Alexander-Walker and watch it turn green. Roadster, I wish I saw that a couple minutes ago. I literally would have put that in. No questions asked.
He's green.
Too late.
He's green as
Too
blah.
late. All right. Dubs. Well, we only have about 10 minutes left here, Jovan. I want to make sure we get to everything we need to and fill chat in, get him as sharp and prepped for tonight's slate as we possibly can. Why don't we pull up the bowl game? I want to take one more peep at that one before we move and groove. We'd love to take a peep at this bowl game and give it one more dive. Let the people know that there's not just one Thursday night football game on tonight. There is a glorious bowl game going on between Georgia Southern and Sam Houston. Don't let it get swept. Okay. The Bearcats are a play on the spreads. I really do not want to let the prize pick square either for Hunter Watson and his more than rushing yards get swept either. These are two really good looks. Okay. Jovan, love yards, got bumped up fat. It's got to be Trent in the chat. I want to let you know. Okay.
What are you letting me know for? Oh, Jeremiah Love.
Oh, that's Goots.
That's what he's talking about.
That's Goots talking about the Irish then.
No, that's Trent. That's Trent because we put him in a crazy lineup. Yeah, he got bumped up 10 yards, dude.
Let's go. Was that the Weekender Bender lineup?
Yeah, it was that one. That's kind of
He's
interesting.
Rushing for 200.
Yeah, I mean, schedule skewed, but getting bumped up 10 yards against the best run defense in all of college football probably tells you something.
Okay. Yeah.
Same with Brashard Smith, sneakily getting bumped up a couple yards too against Penn State, which is odd.
Huh. Interesting. I mean, even with an Indiana ticket in my pocket, I cannot deny how that makes me feel, and I will probably be getting involved on on those love squares as well. It's probably too late now. Fuck the CLV. That don't need it. He's getting 100 yards.
It's not too late. Yeah, there'll be 3 digits next to his rushing total.
Okay. Chat, you better put that one back pocket for Saturday. Don't let that get swept either. Okay. Primer coming in with 5 subbies for the people. Cannot let that get swept either. Prime, you are him. Stay locked. You're on fire. I think you cashed again last night. Pretty sure I saw that on the feeds. Prime, you're the man. Appreciate you coming in here, dropping subs for the peeps. Always in here, dropping chats, dropping plays, and now dropping subbies. We appreciate you, my man. Okay. Jovan, any other comments, thoughts about this bowl game?
Not too much. It's a tough one to crack. I definitely got to get my square consideration in for this game because I think I want to take something related to the run game, which Hunter Watson would kind of fit that. Jay Ducker would also fit that, but I don't really know what the usage is going to look like with the whole running back room. But man, I kind of feel like this might be the over we get in this game. That's really weird. And maybe that helps Sam Houston because I don't think Georgia Southern's going to have all that much trouble scoring on their decrepit defense.
Points?
Yeah. Might be gross to get there, but we probably do get points.
All right. Maybe we get an over. An exciting game again in college football. Okay. Chat, before we lock in here and start talking squad ride, I want to go ahead and remind you one more time. You got some homework for tonight, this afternoon, tomorrow, before the games start up on Saturday. I got 2 pieces of homework for you. Number 1, check out the College Football Playoff podcast that me and Jovan crafted up with Gucci only a couple days ago. Fresh off the presses. All right, still very relevant. If you're looking to bet this weekend, or if you're just looking to enjoy some college football on Saturday on an absolutely loaded slate, and you don't listen to this podcast, well, you're not going to seem as smart to your buddies in the group chats trying to lock in some plays pregame as you could be if you gave this pod a listen. I promise if you're trying to get involved, you will learn something or find something useful from this podcast, okay? We also have the coin toss coming out this afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern in about 2 hours, 3 p.m. Central Time. Please check that out as well. I'm very excited to watch the coin toss this week after a week off with only 1 college football game last weekend. Obviously, not going to run coin toss. Very excited to throw that on, not only this afternoon, but before the slate starts up on Saturday, locking in the plays pregame. Okay, that's the perfect show to throw on your TV on YouTube when you're locking in your plays before you're turning on game day.
Yeah.
All right, plain and simple.
First ever collab whale with somebody on the show today. Actually crazy.
Collab whale.
Collab whale. First time all year it's happened. For me.
Huh. So you're involved, is what you're saying.
It's the first time, well, because my whale's always, I don't know, some random shit. It's not usually like the best biggest games. Obviously with the playoff, it's kind of forced into that. But yeah, rare collab whale.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited to hear what it is. Only about 2 hours till that puppy drops. And Chad, I'll remind you one more time, it helps immensely when you hit the like button on these videos on YouTube, when you leave a comment, or even if you want to be a superhero and you send the link to your buddies in the group chat, say, hey, let's lock in for the weekend. You guys don't know how much that helps. Keep doing it. Keep supporting the squad so we can keep doing this shit for free. Okay? Plain and simple. All right? Prime, again, thank you for those subbies. LC ripped into me, man. Rav says, I'm excited to see that.
LC gave Rav the business, bro.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Okay. All right.
One more thing.
Gucci, what do you got?
During the Notre Dame Indiana talk, if you listen to Mikey, you're stupid.
Okay. All right. I don't even know what that entails, but I'm excited to hear about it. All right. Why don't we get to the squad rides and make sure we spend, 5-10 minutes on this, keep the streak rolling. Jovan, you down?
So down.
Goots, run that shit. I want to see that damn train. All right, chat. Lock in. We're 6-0-1 in our last 7 squad rides. Let me repeat for the people in the back. 6-0-1. That's 6 wins, 0 losses, and 1 push in the last 7 squad rides. Knock on fucking woods. Let's stay hot. Let's find some winners for tonight, Jovan. And let's not get fat, happy, and complacent. Let's finish December strong, please. All right? Where are we starting? Where are we dropping? I know we've been leaning on my plays a lot recently. Would love to take a peep at yours first today.
I mean, I definitely like the over on the hard court quite a bit.
Okay.
Which
Hawks and
maybe,
Spurs.
yeah, maybe it's just a little recency bias because the Spurs, granted, they didn't do shit to help us out for a while, but Spurs did just cash us one, I think, to get us another one.
Okay. It's in there. And chat, now's the time to drop in the chat what your favorite plays are that you heard today, so we know what you guys liked. Okay. Cam Turon, thank you for the follow. Trey VIP, thank you for the follow. We appreciate you guys. We're live on YouTube as well at Bookit Sports. Drop a subby over there. It's free. Okay. Dubs. All right, Jovan, we'll put that over in here on the hardwoods. I really like that over on the ice as well, along with the over in the Thursday night football game. We'll circle back to those pups. I'm not the kind of person to put a play in a squad ride poll or vote, Jovan, just because it fits or because of the bid or the scenario. But do you think we'd be doing ourselves a disservice? You think the gambling gods would be pretty blown? They're probably tuned in right now as we speak, probably watching this puppy right now. You think they'd be pretty blown if we don't put the Bearcats in the shit?
Maybe a little bit.
That was not confident enough nearly to put that in there. So we'll move on to the next one. What about Utah Tech?
Yeah.
+3.
That's a vintage Krabs play. I'm so in on.
Okay. Utah Tech +3. Put that puppy in here. Damn, Jovan. The Sam Houston hater, huh? The tables have turned.
Dude. I'm kind of with him. It's
Tables
just
have
that
turned.
game. I feel like that game is pretty similar to the games yesterday. Where it's just like there's a ridiculous amount of uncertainty with opt-outs and transfers and all that, where it makes it so difficult. But like I lean with you 100%.
And yeah, B Stewski's in chat saying Bearcats are getting mucked tonight. We can't take them. You're right. Shit. All right. That's a solo mission. Understood. Okay. What about the Thursday night football over? How confident are you with that play?
I definitely like my plays in the order that they are.
Okay.
So I would like the over on the ice a little more than that, but I still feel good about it. Yeah.
There's no chance you want to get a Bruins team total under involved in this puppy. It's been a while since we put a play in here based off a feel on the show that we fell in love with and pivoted away from a sharp report play. And maybe since we've been on fire, putting our sharp report plays in there, Jovan, maybe today's the day to do that. I'm looking at that prize pick square. It's giving me flashbacks of last night, and I'm pretty fucking blown that I didn't take that team total under last night. Although, I mean, Jovan, you very rarely feed losers in that Florida-Minnesota game. But if I did, it would have been green. I think today we could do the same thing and take a Bruins team total under.
I mean, if that's screaming for the plums, I will not tell you no, Krabs.
It's definitely screaming from the plums.
If it's screaming,
we could also put in that.
Yes.
We could also put in that Penguins over in the Nashville game too, because I know you love that play as well, and the sell job was great. Total's moving up in that game. It's just still a Penguins over. I guess that's what's keeping me from getting excited about it.
Fair.
God, let me get some odds on that Bruins team total under.
It's -110, the under 2.5. I was just checking.
You want me to go based off of gut here?
I want you to go based off of gut, 100%.
You know what we're doing. We're putting the Bruins team total under in here.
Put it in.
I think we roll with those 3 plays.
I'm in.
Chat, 3 plays, 3 winners for the squad ride tonight. All right, you got 2 minutes to vote. Lock in. If you're watching on YouTube, that's great. We appreciate you. Make sure you're subbed and have the notice turned on. But now is the time to make your way over to the Twitch chat and lock in your vote for the squad ride poll. All right. 3 plays, 3 winners. Hawks Spurs over 234.5 or 234. Utah Tech +3. And the Bruins team total under 2.5. Lock in. Click the right button, please. Please. Okay, let's stay hot. Don't just click the play of the most exciting game. Click the play from the best sell job you heard today, please. Okay? 3 plays, 3 winners. 3 plays, 3 winners.
Love that.
No way the Rockets lose to the Pelicans. There's definitely a way. Big Cheesy says, used to be Red Tube guy. Twitch is the place to be. Appreciate that, Big Cheesy.
Big
Getting
cheesy
involved in
moves.
the squad rides too makes a difference. Okay? It does.
You
3
got
plays,
any
3
other-
winners, chat.
Any other gut calls in the ice crabs? I was just looking through the rest of the slate.
Yeah, I didn't love the ice. Gut plays. I like the Preds to win that game. I like the over in that game, like you were talking about. I thought Seattle opening up -150 after that loss, or a couple losses, and Chicago coming off a couple wins. Although the Blackhawks are catching some steam, they are kind of hot right now. I kind of like Seattle and the Kraken laying that fat number on the roads.
I'm taking the Kraken. I was
Okay.
going to say yesterday, I think the easiest looking play on the board, which is probably usually the indicator when you hear a plus money NHL play on Surge Stream multiple times in the first 5 minutes, was the Canucks, and they lost in OT. Really shouldn't have been even in OT, but that probably looks like the easiest play tonight's Kraken do. And I think it hits. So I'll be taking it.
Wow.
Get involved.
I like it as well. Looks like we're going with the over on the hardwood tonight. No surprises there, Jovan. The over in the Hawks and Spurs game tonight.
Let's
Okay?
go.
Dubs.
Travers CP3.
Love it. Yeah, 100%. We got Remy Lowe coming in, resubbing before we end here. We appreciate you, my man. W's. All right, squad ride, the over in the NBA tonight. Hawks and Spurs over 234. We'll meet you guys at the cash counter. We'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place.